Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Aquatic Ballpark. Overcast conditions here. We have the very first stream of Manly Minor League action on EBSN, Eagles Baseball Sports Network. Today's game is the Manly Futures against the Pittwter Marlins, and straight away Daigo Yamaguchi leading things off for the Futures, and he's going to get on a board with a bunt single. And just like that, one pitch, and the Futures have a runner on to get things started here. I'll bring you the starting lineups at the end of this top of the first inning. But that was Daigo Yamaguchi getting things started for the Eagles. Cheeky little bunt down the third baseline. And Yamaguchi will steal second. Just not handled there at shortstop from the Marlins. Ryan Ego batting for the Futures here, and he's ahead 1 ball and no strikes. And strike one there called by home plate umpire David Sheffers Welsh. In the field, Mr. John Robertson. Two very experienced officials on this game here this afternoon. Ego fouls that one off over the first base dugout. He's behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. Corrections, no balls and 2 strikes. And Ego flies that one up in front of the plate, and catcher Will Sheffers Welsh can't catch it. It does touch his glove on the way down, though, and bounces into foul territory. But the ball touches the glove in fair territory. And Ryan Ego will be aboard. I'm just going to double check. David Sheffers Welsh was right there. He called fair straight away. And they're going to overturn it, and they're going to go with the foul call, so Ryan Ego will get another chance here. None out here, top of the first. Manly Ringer Minor League action. Live and exclusive on Eagles Baseball Sports Network for the first time. One ball, 2 strike count here for Ryan Ego. Daigo Yamaguchi in scoring position at second base with the lead. And Ego will fly that ball up to the shortstop. And Damien Spinks will make the catch there. First out on the top of the first inning here. So Nick Gall will bat here for the Eagles with 1 out. Daigo Yamaguchi, the lead-off. He stands at second. He bunted on the first pitch of the game and stole second. He's ready to score for the Eagles should that opportunity present itself. Nick Gall goes up the middle. Damien Spink gloves it up. Can't get it first time. Picks it up, throws it over to first. Gets past the first baseman. And the ball goes out of play. Nick Gore will be at second base. Daigo Yamaguchi crosses the plate for the first run of this ball game, and the Manly Futures have an early 1-0 lead. Sean Parkinson hitting for the Eagles Futures now, doing the catching duties tonight. He swings and misses at the first pitch from Eric Mina. That pitch catching the end of the bat, spinning foul in front of us. Parkinson now behind, no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 offering from Mina is high, so 1 ball and 2 strikes for Parkinson. And that ball fouled off. Will Sheffield-Wells just not able to get a grab on it. Would have completed the foul tip for strike 3 and the second out of the inning. Parkinson lifts that ball into left field. That ball's going to get down. 1 bounce into the glove of Andrew Logue. Makes a bit of a loose throw to third base. The idea was right. Nick Gore was going on contact. He's in third base standing up. Parkinson standing at second. And the Futures have runners on second and third, with 1 out here. It's going to bring up second baseman Aiden Rogers. He takes the first pitch down for ball 1. And he swings and misses, and that one for strike 1. A ball and a strike now for Rogers. That pitch catching the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Down and away for ball 2, so 2 and 2 for Rogers. Manly Futures with 2 runners in scoring position here. And Rogers will fly that ball up over to the first baseman. That's David Spence running in and making that catch. And that'll be the second out of this inning. Max Steer will bat for the Futures here. And that ball is thrown behind Max. Gore will come in, touch home plate. Second run for the Futures. They're out to an early 2-0 lead here. Top of the first inning. Lefty punches that ball into right field. It's going to fall into the glove of the second baseman. Lindsay Leach running back for that one, and that'll be the third out. So after the top of the first inning, Manly Futures 2-0 over the Pittwater Marlins. And it'll be David Spence, Stefano Bianchini, and Lindsay Leach. First three hitters of the bottom of the first inning for the Marlins. Here's the lineup for both teams. As you saw, Daigo Yamaguchi, he leads things off at shortstop. Ryan Igo in centre field. Nick Gall at first base. Sean Parkinson doing the catching this afternoon. Aidan Rogers at second base. Max Steer in right field. Will Delane in left field. Ruben Chippick doing the pitching. And Oliver Tibbett will be at third base. And the Pittwater Marlins lineup, David Spence leading all things off, playing first base. Stefano Bianchini at centre field. Lindsay Leach at second base with that good running catch. Damien Spinks at shortstop. Will Sheffers-Welsh the catcher. Gary Cogan at third base. The veteran Eric Mina doing the pitching this afternoon. Jason Mannell in right field. And Andrew Logue in left field. So Ruben Chippick on the mound for the Eagles here. He starts with ball one in the dirt. David Spence leading things off for the Marlins. Home side this afternoon along the first base dugout. And that curveball from Chippick evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball from Spence pulled foul into the home dugout. So a ball and 2 strikes for Chippick. Foul ball there, keeps the at-bat alive for the leadoff here. pitch up and away. 2-2. That ball lifted up. Parkinson throws away the mask, gets underneath it, and that's a good catch by the Futures catcher. One away. Stefano Bianchini will step in for the Marlins. First pitch up by Chipek. 1 ball and no strikes. And that pitch in there for strike 1. Fastball down the middle. 1 ball and a strike. That ball missing. Up. 2 balls and a strike. Gramble hit to Rogers, runs a long way to go and get it. Good strong throw across the diamond. Just a little bit low. Nick Gall not able to glove it in the dirt. And Stefano Bianchini will be on base with that ground ball. Good range thrown, shown by Aidan Rogers. Just not able to make a strong enough throw to get it to first base on the full, and the Marlins will have their first base runner of the afternoon. Lindsay Lee swings at that first pitch. Bianchini goes up on the ball in the dirt. 0-1 for Lee here. Ball pulled foul out of reach of the third baseman. Oliver Tibbett over there. So 0-2 here for Chipek. And that pitch just missing outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lee lifts that ball into centre field. Good running catch by Ryan Ego. Second out of the inning. So 2 out here for the Futures. And it's going to bring up for the Marlins the shortstop, Damien Spinks. Bianchini takes off. He's going to get into third with a good slide. Bit of a double pump by the catcher, Sean Parkinson. Just gave Bianchini enough time to get into third base. And the Marlins have a run 90 feet away. Spinks punches that one into right field. That's going to get down and to the fence. A long run for Max Steer out there, and it's going to be a double for Damien Spinks. More importantly, it's going to get the Marlins on the board. 2-out double by Spinks. And it records the first run of this ball game for the Marlins. 2-1 now in favour of the Futures. Catch up for the Marlins. Will Sheffers Welsh checks his swing. He's ahead, 1 ball and no strikes. Damien Spinks with his lead over at second. And that pitch on the knees for strike 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sheffers Welsh punches that ball back up the middle. It's going to be another run for the Marlins side. No, Damien Helt up at third base. Ball that was hard hit, probably hit a little bit too well. Straight to the centre fielder in Ego. But it's going to put runners on the corners here for the Marlins with 2 out. Gary Coggan now, the third baseman. Sheffers Welsh steals second base. Curveball in the dirt by by Chippick rather. He's ahead, no balls and 1 strike. 2 out here, bottom of the first. A pitch up for ball 1. 1-1 for Chippick. A pitch in for strike 2. Good change up by Chippick. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Chippick 1 pitch away from getting out of this, leaving a couple of Marlins runs stranded and getting his Futures side back into the offensive part of the game. Good block by Parkinson as that ball's in the dirt. 2-2. Pittwater with 2 runners on. Eric Mina in the on-deck circle. That ball's going to be punched to the first baseman. Good ranging play. Nick Gall on top of that one. He makes the out. And after the first inning, it's going to be the Marlins 1, Manly Futures 2. So it'll be Will Delane for the Futures, leading things off in the top of the second inning. And that ball is going to be down for ball one. Big swing and miss by Delane there. The ball and a strike. Eric Mina works very quickly. Has a good range of off-speed pitches. Can really mess up the timing on the batter. And that ball's going to be lifted into left field, but only as far as the centre fielder in Stefano Bianchini for the Marlins, and that's going to be the first out of the top of the first. That'll bring up the pitcher for the Futures side, Ruben Chippick. That ball's lifted foul. Andrew Logue after it. Just not quite quick enough to get there. Chippick behind, no balls and one strike. And that pitch inside for ball one. One ball and one strike. Chippick skies that one over to the third baseman. Gary Colgan safely under that one for the second out of the inning. That's two away here for Eric Mina. Working quickly to get through this one. It'll bring up Oliver Tibbett for the Futures. Third baseman today. And he takes ball one down. And a little curveball from Mina is lifted up to Colgan at third. And that'll be the end of the top of the top of the second rather. So quickly worked inning there by Eric Mina. Couple of fly balls. Getting the job done. Colgan kept busy. So after the top of the second inning, Manly Futures 2, Pittwater Marlins 1. So it's going to be the pitcher for the Marlins, Eric Mina, to lead things off. First pitch by Chippick is on the outside for ball 1. Ball 2 there for Mina. Chippick fires backwards, a strike. 2 balls and a strike now for the Marlins pitcher. Chippick working a little bit too quickly there. Give a bit of talking to. From home plate umpire David Sheffers-Walsh. So no pitch there. Counter will remain. 2 balls and a strike. That's up for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike now. There's a strike there from Chippick. Fills the count up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ground ball to Yamaguchi. Throws it across the diamond. That's the first out here. In the bottom of the second. Nice tidy play by the Futures shortstop. Has seen some time in the under 18s lineup. As Jason Mannell fouls off the first pitch he sees from Ruben Chippick this afternoon. And strike 2 in there for Chippick. So ahead early. No balls and 2 strikes. And down the middle for strike 3. So 2 out here for the Futures. Chippick working quickly. Got a warning just before for working too quickly. But 2 quick outs here. So it's going to be Andrew Logue batting with 2 out. Instead of sitting next to me and running production, he's out there playing. Played in an earlier game with his Forest Mets team. They went down 17-1. And that's strike 1 inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. They took on the competition leaders, the Renegades. Swing and a miss from Logue. Behind quickly, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 out here in the bottom of the second. That pitch is going to be up for ball 2. Andrew fouls that one off. Two balls and two strikes. The Marlins left fielder. And a big swing and miss will get this one finished. So after 2 innings, Pittwater 1, Manly Futures 2. So back to the top of the lineup for the Futures. Daigo Yamaguchi will lead things off. Will we see another bunt? Gary Coggan aware this time, playing in a little bit shallow. Daigo takes the first pitch in for a ball. That curveball from Mina dropping in for a strike. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. That one up a little bit high for Daigo. 1 ball and 2 strikes now for the Futures shortstop. And that one off the hands for Daigo Yamaguchi. It's going to be a single up the middle. So he's on board for the second time today. 2 for 2. So Ryan Ego now. Yamaguchi takes off. Sheffers Welsh can't handle it. And Yamaguchi will be into second base without a throw. 2 balls now for Ego. That ball on the outside. 3 balls, no strikes for Ryan Ego. Manly Futures looking to score a few more runs in this inning. Extended lead here in the early stages. Manly minor league games are 2-hour timed games with the 10-minute rule. As Mena fires in a strike to get back into this one. 3 balls and a strike. And Ryan Ego successfully draws the walk. So the Futures here with 2 runners on and nobody out. It's going to be the tall left-handed hitting Nick Gall here. And he'll take ball 1 away. Checking over on Yamaguchi at second base. Gall lifts that one over to Damien Spinks at shortstop. He'll be out on the infield fly. So the first out of this top of the 3rd inning. Sean Parkinson now the catcher. Doubled into left field on his last at bat. Looking to do something similar with a couple of runners aboard. He's ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. And that pitch dropping in for strike 1. 2 balls and a strike now for Parkinson. Punches that one to Spinks, it's short, turns to 2 for the first, but the relay over to first isn't in time. But it will be the second out. Dogo Yamaguchi moving up to third base, putting himself 90 feet away from another run for the Futures. Umpire John Robinson just having a chat to Ego, probably for not sliding into second base, warning him of the implications of doing so. So it'll be Aidan Rogers with 2 out. Sean Parkinson stealing second base. As Aidan Rogers takes strike 1. And that pitch dropping in for strike 2. So Rogers behind. No balls and 2 strikes. 2 out here with 2 runners in scoring position. And that pitch in for strike 3. So a opportunity for the Futures to add to their tally goes begging. The Futures will come to... the Marlins will come up to bat. Down 2-1 here in the middle of the 3rd inning. So Dave Spence leading things off for the Marlins in the bottom of the 3rd inning rather. Both teams back to the top of their lineup in the 3rd inning. And Dave Spence is ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. First one getting away from Chippick. Sean Parkinson not able to grab that one. So 2-0 here for Dave Spence. Make that 3-0 now. Chippick just struggling with a little bit of control here. And just like that, he finds the zone. So 3 balls and 1 strike. A big swing and miss from Dave Spence for strike 2. So Chipper comes all the way back. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. But he holds firm and he draws the walk. The Marlins have their first batter on board in this bottom of the third inning. And I'll bring up Dave Stefano Bianchini, rather. And Chippick in for strike one. Check over at first on Spence. He's back in, standing up. So 2 balls and 1 strike now. As that ball's fouled off back to the net over the top of the screen. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big shout out to the Renegades watching down at Chubb's Barbecue down in Brookvale. Good to see you got the game on live down there, gents. Thanks for tuning in. The inaugural broadcast of EBSN featuring a Manly Ringer minor league game. And Chippick gets the swing out of Baldacchini. Don't forget, if you are watching and you haven't yet subscribed, you hit that subscribe button. And you get updates whenever we do go live on any game broadcast here at Aquatic Ballpark or anywhere else we may venture to cover baseball, as that ball is lifted foul. That's off the bat of Lindsay Lee. No balls and 1 strike on Lindsay Lee. 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. And that pitch just catching the outside corner for strike 2. Ruben Chippick was a little bit wild at the start of this inning, but he seems to have found his groove. Firing at a bunch of strikes here. That ball's hit on the ground. Max Steer can't get it. Goes straight through his legs. Dave Spence rounds second, moves over to third base. And it's going to put runners at the corners in what was a double play situation. Max Steer moving in from right field. Aidan Rogers moving out to right field. Defensive change for manager Sean Shivers. Coming back to bite him a little bit there. Chippick will have to work hard to get out of this spot right here. He has 1 out. And the dangerous Damien Spinks up to bat. Can't check his swing on that one. So he's behind. No balls and 1 strike. And that's up for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike for Spinks. Double play ball still in order for the Futures. That ball hit to third base. Takeout slide there at second base. He says he's made it and he's going to call him out. That's a good call by John Robinson. Took out the second baseman there. It's going to be a double play. Not necessarily deliberate, just a circumstance. It's not a run-scoring play. The run will not score crossing the plate. The rule obviously brought in to protect the safety of the fielders. They have ruled that the run will score, so it will be 2-2 after 3 innings. So we have had confirmation, as I first thought, that the run won't count, being a double play. Players still discussing the sequence of events. The score will remain 2-1 in favour of the Futures. We're back here live, top of the 4th inning. Eric Mina still out there. So it'll be Max Steer to lead things off here for the Futures. They hold a 1-run lead here in the top of the 4th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike for the Futures. Now second baseman after starting the game in right field. Had that ball get between his legs in the previous inning. As that ball falls over the corner of the plate. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes for Max Steer. That pitch just a little bit high for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3 balls and 2 strikes now for Max. And that's down for ball 4. So Max draws a leadoff walk. Steer with the lead at first. Will Delane at the plate. Check over at first from the catcher Will Sheffers Welsh. And it's strike 1 on Delane. Ruben Chippett, the pitcher, waiting on deck. That ball's down. Steer takes off to second. High throw from Sheffers Welsh. One and one now for Will Delane. And Delane pulls that one through the left side straight to Andrew Logan, left field. So runners on the corner here for the Futures. Good piece of hitting there by the Manly left fielder. So it'll go to the pitcher here, Ruben Chippett. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Trying to extend their 1-run lead, give themselves something to play with as this game enters its second hour. Delane will take second, uncontested. Slides in for good measure. Move up on defensive indifference. And that ball is foul. One ball and one strike now for Chippett. Correction, 2 strikes for Chippett. And that ball into the right side. He's going to sit down on it, let it fall in front of him. That's going to be an RBI for the pitcher. Max Steer coming in to score from third base. An extra run for the Futures. They go out to a 3-1 lead. Oliver Tibbett now, the third baseman, steps up for the Futures. And he straight back to the pitcher, Mina, over the Spinks at second for 1, over to first for the second, but it will be another run in the form of Will Delane. So the double play, well turned by the experienced Marlins team, but they have knocked in another pair of runs. The Futures now lead 4-1. And they turn the lineup over for the third time to their leadoff man, Daigo Yamaguchi. And that is going to be in for strike 1. Daigo reaching 2 hits today, a bunt, and then a ground ball into left field. that pitch in for ball 1. And Daigo lifts that ball up into centre field. And it's going to be run down by the Marlins centre fielder in the form of Stefano Bianchini. But the Futures picked up a couple of runs in that one. They've extended their lead. And up to the top of the 4th, it's Manly 4, Pittwater 1. So Ruben Chippett back out for the bottom of the 4th inning. Will Sheffers Welsh, the first batter for the Marlins here, bottom of the 4th. Futures extending their lead to 4-1. Swing and miss. A ball and 2 strikes now for Will Sheffers Welsh. And that pitch in for strike 3. That's the first out, bottom of the 4th. Ruben Chippett starting a bit shakily in the 3rd inning, but he's right on song here in the 4th. Gary Coggin with a big swing there. Ruben Chippett reaching back a little bit more for that one. And he's ahead 0-1. That one in the dirt. We'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And another pitch there in for strike 2. As Coggin calls for time. Ball and 2 strikes for Chippett here. And that ball missing for ball 2, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ball hit into the plate, bounced fair, but then rolled foul. So the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that pitch just outside. So Coggin's got it all the way back to 3-2. Fouling that one off, extending his at bat. That ball hits softly to Tibbet, picks it fair, throws it across the diamond. Wouldn't have excused him to let that go, let it roll foul. A slow roller, but he came up to it very quickly, picked it up barehanded as it rolled along the line, and a strong throw over to first base. That's the second out of this inning. It's going to bring up the pitcher for the Marlins, Eric Mina. That pitch in for ball 1. And a strike there from Chippick at the knees. Ball and a strike now. And that ball fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just low. Parkinson not able to handle it. They couldn't sell it as strike 3. Count evens at 2-2. And that one a little bit wide, getting away from Parkinson. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mina filling it up, going deep into the count. Payoff pitch here for Chippick. Wants to get his bats back in action, and that's going to be strike 3. So Chippick battling all the way. Showing experience beyond his years. Able to strike out Mina on that one after going a little bit wild. And after 4 innings, it's the Manly Futures 4, Pittwter Marlins 1. So top of the fifth here in this Manly Ringer Minor League first grade game between the Pittwter Marlins and the Manly Futures. Manly Futures program beginning last season, with 28 under 18s or players under the age of 18 coming for trials at the start of the pre-season. And it was decided the best way to harness them for the future was to set up a second team and put them into the Manly competition, as Ryan Ego grounds out to the shortstop Damien Spinks. First year was a tough one. Not a lot of results on the scoreboard, but plenty of improvement from the players that were part of the program. A bunch of those guys up in the 18s team this year, and part of the team that were off to a very strong start at the start of the season, the under 18s. This year with the new manager, Sean Shivers. Taking the reins of this young side. There have been weekly improvements in all aspects of their game. As Nick Gore flies out to the left fielder Andrew Logue. So Eric Mina has two quick outs in the top of the fifth here. It's going to bring up the catcher, Sean Parkinson, hopefully to extend this inning for the Eagles Futures. Currently holding a 4-1 lead in the top of the fifth inning. The Futures have enjoyed a couple of wins this year and have also had other results that could have been very ugly last year. A lot more competitive this year. So 3 quick outs on 6 pitches for Eric Mina after the top of the fifth. Manly Eagles Futures 4, Pittwater Marlins 1. So a new pitcher for the Eagles. It's going to be Nick Gall warming up on the mound. So Dave Mannell to lead things off for the Marlins. Currently training the Futures 4-1. Nick Gore behind, quickly hit. No balls. Sorry, 2 balls and no strikes. And that's ball 3 up and away. And that'll be ball 4. So lead off walk. Andrew Logue now stepping in. And Nick Gore finds his strike zone. Fires in his first strike. No balls and a strike for Logue. That pitch up a little bit higher, so that'll be ball 1. Bottom of the 5th here. Futures holding a 4-1 lead. And Logue hacks at that high pitch. That'll get back over the fence up towards the canteen. A ball and 2 strikes now for Andrew Logue. He's been kept busy and left field with a couple of catches. The curveball from Gall just missing inside. Will even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that one away. Filling the count up for Andrew Logue. Fires in. That one, Tibbetts going to come down and get it. Oh, can't pick it up. Unlucky. Made a great play in the previous inning on a similar slow rolling ball. This time tried to pick it up with his glove. And it kicks off the end of the glove back into the grass. And the Marlins will have runners on first and second with nobody out. Back to the top as well for the Marlins. And that's down for ball 1. That ball straight back up the middle, and it's going to score a run. No, it's going to be held up at third base. So hard hit ball up the middle. Run down by Ryan Ego out at centre field. So none out here. It's going to be Stefano Bianchini. Bat with loaded bases and none out. Lifts that ball into left centre field. Centre fielder running in after it makes the catch. Tagging and scoring is Mantle. Parkinson unable to catch the ball at home. Mantle was out for all money, but he comes in to score. That's going to halve the lead for the Marlins. Ruben Chippick with the catch out in centre field and the throw back home on the money. Sean Parkinson thinking tag before he caught the ball. A good bit of defense by the Futures, and they have the first out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Two strikes here now. And there's strike 3 for Lee. So after loading the bases, Nick Gall has come back with a fly ball and a strikeout. That's going to bring up the dangerous shortstop in Damien Spinks. Tying run over at first base still. First pitch from Gall is away for ball 1. And it'll be ball 2 as David Spence takes second base. Uncontested. So the tying run now in scoring position. Gall in there, just missing inside. That's ball 3. And that's down the middle for strike 1. So 3-1 here for Spinks. That's going to be ball 4 down and in. So we'll load the bases. Probably not a bad thing from Gall. Means that there's an out at every base. Pick it and kick it scenario. Sean Shivers just jumping out into the mound to have a chalk to his pitcher, Nick Gall. Words of wisdom doing wonders there with Nick Gall. Starting the at-bat on Will Sheffers-Walsh with a strike. And as I made mention in the under-18s game, generally after you see a visit by a manager to his pitcher, the next batter generally results in an out. So we'll see what happens here for Nick Gall as he leaves that one up. Ball 1, a ball and 2 strikes. Here now for Gall on Will Sheffers Welsh. 1-2 pitch. The curveball gets away. Well handled by Sean Parkinson. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gall 1 pitch away from ending the loaded bases threat. The Marlins a base hit away from tying this game up. The ball is hit to Max Steer at second. Little bobble. Loose toss to Ego at first, but Ego makes the grab at first base, and that's going to end it. 1 run there for the Marlins. So after 5 complete, these are the Manly Futures 4, the Marlins 2. So change of pitcher here for the Marlins. Eric Mina has finished for the afternoon. And they've turned to Gary Coggan. Straight swap at third base. .624 the time currently. So we've got 11 minutes until our 10-minute cutoff. Manly Minor League games, 2-hour timed games. No new inning after 1 hour and 50 minutes. This game starting at 4:45. Scheduled finishing time of 6:45, which means no new inning after 6:35. Hopefully the Renegades are still tuning in down at Chubb's Bar, down in Brookvale. Futures on the Futures will be looking for a couple more runs in this inning. Try and consolidate their lead. Big day of baseball up at Aquatic Ballpark tomorrow. State League action live and exclusive on EBSN from 9:30 with third grade. Second grade will start at noon. And then the main game at 2:30 as Gary Coggan starts with a ball inside. And it's Aiden Rogers leading things off. So the Eagles' first grade side in some good form of late, although they will be without Jalen Ray tomorrow, who is on Sydney Blue Sox duties after getting the call up this week. Collected his first ABL hit last night, going 1 for 4, and was the winning run in the end of the game, as Aiden Rogers is ahead here 3-0. Second and third grade also chasing important victories tomorrow to try and finish 2019 off in winning fashion. Shohei Ariyama getting the start in first grade tomorrow afternoon, as Aiden Rogers draws ball 4, and he's aboard here in the top of the 6th inning. As well as State League action, there is State Cup action on the back diamonds. So there'll be plenty of people in attendance tomorrow. So it'll be a very busy day. But it will be a great day of baseball here at Aquatic Ballpark. 3 games live streamed on Eagles Baseball Sports Network. So if you can't make it out to the ground tomorrow, make sure you tune in, as Aiden Rogers moves up to second base on that pass ball. Thought about going to third, but Will Sheffers Welsh tracked it down. One ball here for Max Steer. One ball and a strike now with that pitch in for strike 1. Rogers with the lead over at second. And that pitch getting up. Two balls and a strike now. And up for strike 2. So 2-2 here for Max Steer. Important insurance run sitting on second base for the Futures team. And he swings and misses, and he'll strike out. First out of this 6th inning. It'll bring up Will Delane. Middle infielders for the Marlins, keeping Aiden Rogers close. Don't want the young outfielder getting any closer to the next base. And Spence fires in a strike there to get Will Delane's at bat underway. And Delane goes over to second base to Lee. He throws it on to first for the out. And that's 2 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Rogers moving over to third base. And he's 90 feet away from scoring a very important insurance run here. It's going to bring up the starting pitcher, Ruben Chippick. Get it right in a minute. Chippick. 4 very strong innings to start this game. And Spence puts that one in the dirt. It's going to easily allow Aidan Rogers to score. And there's that important insurance run for the Futures. They go out to 5-2 now. So 1 ball here for Chippick. And that pitch on the outside for ball 2. So 2-0 for Chippick here. He batted 2 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. More than likely the last inning here this afternoon at Aquatic. And that's on the outside corner for strike 1. 2 balls and a strike now. And Chippick fouls off that high delivery from Spence. Evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 here for Chippick. And that ball's down and away, beating the glove of Sheffers Welsh, but with no runners on, there's no damage. So full count here for Chippick. Oliver Tibbett waiting on deck. He pokes that one over the head of the second baseman Lee. Good piece of 2-strike hitting there by Chippitt, and it's going to be a hustle double. Good at bat by Chippick. Drew the count full, poked the ball into right field, and hustled all the way up to second base. And they're going to extend this inning here. Oliver Tibbett will look to drive in another insurance run. Grounds the ball to Damien Spinks at shortstop. Clean pick up and throw across the diamond. So no extra runs there for the Futures. They do get 1 though to go out to 5-2. So as we head to the bottom of the last, Pittwater trail by 3. So it'll be Nick Gall to continue here. He'll be looking for a shutdown inning. Finish this game off with his side up 5-2. Bottom of the 6th. That ball getting away from him inside. So ball 1 for Gary Coggan. Big swing on the change-up. 1 ball and 1 strike now for Coggan. Nice pitch by Gall on the outside corner, getting the swing. He's ahead now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That ball down on the outside again. Daigo Yamaguchi showing plenty of range, getting across to that one on the backhand. Set his feet, fired across the diamond. And Ryan Ego with the take at first, and that's the first out of this last inning. Tibbet living away and away. Forced Coggan to swing. Gets the weak contact to the shortstop, but Daigo Yamaguchi made a brilliant play on the backhand for the first out of this inning. Eric Mina takes the first pitch down for ball 1. That ball also in, ball 2. Two balls and no strikes here as Mina lifts that one into centre field. Chipek moves underneath of it. He's had quite a day, the young kid. 4 innings of solid pitch ball and a couple of outs in centre field. So that's 2 out here. Marlins down to their final out of the game, trailing the Futures 5-2. Dave Mannell now will bat with 2 out, and he takes ball 1. Andrew Logue waiting on deck. Mannell swinging and missing at that one, so 1-1 now. Gall sets on top of the mound. Fires it in and it's going to hit Mannell on the leg. So a life here for the Marlins. They get a runner on base. They're going to need a couple more. But one batter at a time get on base. Mannell being the first one here. And it is going to bring up the left fielder for the Marlins, Andrew Logue. Can Andrew keep the game alive here for the home side? Gall inside on that one. Ball 1. That pitch missing down for ball 2. So Logue ahead quickly. 2 balls and no strikes. And a big swing and miss by Logue on that fastball down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike now. And that pitch just low, ball 3. Andrew Logue working the count in his favour. 3 balls and 1 strike now. Looking to turn the lineup over to David Spence. Extend their at bat here as Logue flies that ball up. Ryan Ego all the way to the fence, but the ball will get out of play. It'll fill the count up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. You'd think David Mantle would be going from first base with 2 out here. So the 3-2 pitch coming here. Mantle goes. Logue fouls off a high one. Probably would have been ball 4. Sometimes you've just got to protect. In this instance, it's what he did. So he'll get to see another pitch. Not the ideal scenario for Mantle, who did take that pitch on the leg before. Gall looking to finish it right here with 1 pitch. The curveball misses outside. So Logue draws the walk. Good pitch by Gall, just missing on the outside corner. And he'll turn the lineup over for David Spence. Andrew Logue standing up on first base. Nick Gall 1 out away from finishing this here. And that pitch just missing for ball 1. Gall sets on top of the mound. Gets a swing on this occasion, so 1 ball and 1 strike. And he gets another swing there out of David Spence. So the Marlins down to their final strike. Runners on first and second, tying run at the plate. Young Nick Gall kicks and delivers. The curveball misses outside. So ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that pitch taking the outside corner. That'll finish it. A great display by the Manly Futures side. They've taken this one 5-2. And it's their 3rd win of the third win in a row. Their 4th win of the season. They upset the Futures a couple of weeks ago. They beat the Mets last week and they've beaten the Marlins today for their 4th win of the season, and they move up to 4th place in the Manly minor league standings. 4 superb innings by Ruben Chippick, limiting the opportunities for the Pittwter Marlins to score runs. Ruben also busy in centre field after he was taken from the mound. Daige Yamaguchi with some big plays at shortstop. Also picked up a pair of hits himself, and then Nick Gall coming in at the end there, only giving up the 1 run through 2 innings of work. Superb effort by the Manly Futures team. Big congratulations to Sean Shivers and Gavin Parkinson, looking after the future of Manly baseball. That's all from Aquatic Ballpark this afternoon. 3 big games of State League action tomorrow. So make sure if you can't get here, you do tune in from around 9:10. We'll have the pre-game with the 3rd grade kicking off at 9:30, 2nd grade at noon, and the 1st grade game between the Manly Eagles and the Canterbury Vikings kicking off at 2:30. Until then, I'm Luke Eisenhower. Good afternoon. We'll see you soon.